Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome back if you're a regular here. Okay, so a lot's happened since we last did any readings on the Idaho 4, and it's taken me a few days to process exactly what has just happened, and I'm sure most of you are aware that Bryan Kohbergers has taken a guilty plea and essentially admitted to unaliving all four victims that lost their lives on the 13th of November 2022. First thing I'll say is that all of the readings I've done so far on the Idaho 4 I stand by. I would not be so disrespectful to my spirit guides, also to people like Kaylee and others who have come to me with information regarding the case. It's an interesting thing because I didn't know which way to take this to begin with. I was thinking, what on earth's going on here? Have I just not actually picked up on something I should have regarding Bryan Kohbergers? What I will say is I hadn't got to the end of my readings, and I hadn't come to any kind of conclusion, which was going to happen by the time I'd read on everyone in this case. From what I could see about Bryan, I felt that he was leading more towards being innocent than guilty. I still feel that. I do still feel that. I've never been 100% sure. I will say that. There has been times during the process of doing this where I've questioned whether or not he had any involvement, no matter how small, whether he had any knowledge of what actually happened. But here's the most interesting thing, or one of the most interesting things. On Sunday evening, Kaylee came to me in a bit of a panic, urging that I have a session with her. And at the time I was busy, and I said, okay, Kaylee, I said, honestly, I promise you, I'll get round to it as soon as I can. She said to me, no, it has to be now. And she sounded desperate. So I did that channeling session, and I kept notes on my phone under the Keep Notes app. The most annoying thing is I've since found out that if I'd done that on my computer, there would have been timestamps. Now, there is a time on my Keep Notes app on my phone which just says last edited, and it does show on that it was last edited on the 30th of June, which is when I had the session. So for those of you that are questioning whether I did all this after the event or, as a reaction to, it's not. I promise you this session happened before. And the purpose of this video is to go through what happened during that channeling session, because I do feel like it is significant. So I printed out what I had on my Keep Notes. For those of you who are questioning the validity of this or the timing of this, then I will post a screenshot of my Keep Notes with the edited timestamp on it, so you can see that at least. So the first thing she did was she asked me, as you know, the last channeling session I had with Kaylee, she asked me to use the Bible. This time she asked me to use a dictionary. I don't know why she does that, because I can just literally talk to her. She doesn't need to be using tools. I don't need cards. I don't need any kind of tool, but for some reason she said, can you use the dictionary? So I was like, okay, let's do this. So literally it was only for the first 10 minutes that she made me draw some keywords, and I have not looked into these keywords in any detail yet. I was doing research on what she gave me as we went through the conversation, but as far as these keywords are concerned, this is something that I'm going to do some research on, and something you guys can do research on yourselves, in your own time, should you decide to. And I'd love to hear your thoughts or theories on these keywords. I've forgotten to mention, this is a disclaimer. This is a psychic, it's not a reading. A channeling session, it is open to interpretation. I don't claim it to be factual. It is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so these keywords are still, stir, sing, drawn, minefield, subtle, angry, distressing. She also gave me a British person, the quote, a British person. Then she gave me rendition, parsley, and likelihood. Before she gave me these keywords, sorry, just to put this in context, I asked her what was wrong. Why are you so upset? And she said that she was really upset with her father. She said that he'd done something or said something that she was just so upset about. Something that caused... I don't know how to put this, guys, because when she first told me, it made it sound like he was directly responsible for someone's death. Okay. I don't believe that. I think that came out of an emotion from Kaylee, but I think that maybe Steve had said something which travelled, and the knock-on effect, or the, ended up with someone losing their life. I don't know, guys, whether this person was unalived deliberately, or I don't know, but she gave me a name as well. Anyway, so she said her dad got someone unalived, and she gave me the date of June the 19th. And the reason why was because he ratted on someone. I don't think it was deliberate. That's the thing. I don't get the feeling that this was done deliberately. I think it was something done innocently, that he perhaps didn't realise what the repercussions would be of talking about this person, or talking to someone about someone. This person was from Boise, and he was around the same age as Steve. He's a family man. And she gave me the name of Charles or Greg. And I thought, well, hang on, Kaylee. I said, Charles or Greg, those are two very different names. But anyway, she also gave me the word priest. So I immediately stopped. I said, pause, I need to look up. So I looked up the name Charles Greg from Boise, Idaho. And I'm not joking you, within seconds, the information came up on a page saying that someone had passed away by the name of Charles, and in brackets next to the name Charles was Greg, and the surname was Boswell. It didn't, when I followed up on this, he didn't pass away on the 19th of June. That's the only thing I'll say. And I don't know how he passed or why he passed. But yes, he's a family man. And yes, he did look around the same age as Steve, maybe a little bit older. But, when we're talking about spirit, they'll kind of, throw everyone into a certain category. Like anyone from the age of 40, probably up to the age of 60 would be in the same category. So yeah, I tried to look up police records. I didn't have any luck with the police records. A lot of it because it's not accessible. But it's something that I'm going to keep track of and keep trying to find out. It could well be the person that I found is not the person that we're talking about. It could be that there is a particular person called Charles, and maybe there's another particular person called Greg. I don't know, but whatever it was, that fact that name just came up straight away was kind of, to me, validation from Kaylee that, I'm talking to Kaylee, if that makes sense. She also gave me the name of Brendan Carter. Now that could be Brandon, but she gave me the name of Brendan. And I started searching for that name, but as I was searching, I got sidetracked by the news that was coming in about the Coeur d'Alene shooting. So that was all happening at the same time, which also seems relevant. It's not something I would have ever known about being in the UK. It would not have come up on my news feed. This is like local news to Idaho, probably would have been national news as well, but it certainly wouldn't have come up in the news in this country. I would not have known about that unless I'd been drawn to do some sort of research, and that's how I found out. But I literally found out as it was happening, which is crazy. Now, Kaylee always uses music as a reference as well. She'll always give me titles of songs or artists, and 100% of the time it's usually people I've never heard of. And here we go again. So she asked me to play a song called Carry You Home. As I said, I've never heard of it. It's by an artist called Alex Warren. And I looked up that song, but actually when I looked up him as an artist, I was drawn to a song that he did in 2022 called Headlights. Okay, you can look this up yourself and read the lyrics, but the lyrics of this song are so interesting. I'm going to read them to you now because you'll understand why they're so interesting. It's come from Kaylee. This is Kaylee giving me some sort of informational clues about what happened. And I do feel like it's more about, I believe it's about what happened to Kaylee, not what's happened to this man. Though now that I think about it, I don't know. I don't know. But the lyrics are, I'm in the back seat of my own life. Someone else is driving. Down a street that doesn't feel like mine. Windows up so high, I can't breathe. You can hold me, say it's all right. I'll be lonely at the same time, wide awake, but stuck inside a dream. Is it only me, or do you ever feel like you've had enough? Screaming at the top of your lungs. These days it's so dark, I can't get my head right. Mind is spinning out of control, running, but there's nowhere to go. These days it's so dark that I can't see with headlights. I don't know how I'm surviving in the clouds so high. It almost feels like I'm flying without a pilot. Paralyzed, but I'm still here trying. You can hold me, say it's all right. I'll be lonely at the same time, wide awake but stuck inside a dream. Is it only me, or do you ever feel like you've had enough? Screaming at the top of your lungs. These days it's so dark I can't get my head right. Mind is spinning out of control, running, but there's nowhere to go. Let me just see if there's any more in here because it feels like repeating. Yeah. She then gave me another song which was called Cast Aside, and it's by a band called The Living. And again, it's the certain words, certain sentences in this which I feel like are direct clues. And it says, wake up and tell myself I'm fine. Another day ruled by a chemically contaminated mind. Seems as though my flesh has healed over the thorn in my side. Empty my life, empty my rights, empty me of this sickening pride. Empty my lust, empty my lies, empty me of all my devices. Even when it costs everything, will your promise remain? So sick and tired of being cast aside. Fake it with a charming smile. They'll never know who I am if I can keep it in the dark. So fed up with the process. When will it ever end? She then gave me the name of Raymond Dutch, which is spelt D-U-C-H, which I'm still researching. Interesting that when I first looked this up, it did come up with the British person, and she mentioned a British person in the very first few words that she gave me from the dictionary. So I don't know if there's a link there. I also, as I was searching for this name, I came across, which again, I don't know what the link is, but because I didn't literally search for it, I looked up this name and then this list of decertified officers in Idaho came up within seconds. She told me to look up July 2022 and search for the surname of Fisher or Fassbender or something similar, which I believe is something to do with one of those decertified officers from Idaho. So again, this is something that I'm in the process of doing, but these are all links. I also believe there are links to the shootings in Coeur d'Alene and the case. I think this has come to me at that time for a reason. The reason why Bryan has decided to give up at this point is something I have to continue to find out. What I will say, guys, is that it's really upsetting. But I know that this isn't the end of anything. This is actually the beginning of something. I am being urged to keep going. I hope you guys are with me on that. I think probably a few of you will probably have just decided that because he's openly stated in court that he did it, that therefore he is guilty. But believe me, there's plenty of people that have done that have been innocent in order to not only save their own life, but to save the lives of people around them. And I feel that that is a strong reason why this has happened. Don't forget that Ann Taylor has got connections with some very dangerous people that she has represented in the past. And I think that is also a reason. I think this whole case is being controlled by outside forces. It always has been from the beginning. And Bryan is easily suggestible. I've said that before. He's incredibly easily suggestible. What I will say is that when the hearing comes up for his sentencing, I think I'm going to lose a lot of people because I think he's going to make a statement and it's going to sound incredibly convincing. It's going to sound like this is what I did. He's going to apologize to the parents of the 4 people that lost their lives, and it is just going to turn a lot of people into believing that he genuinely did this. But believe me, he's being coached. He's being coached and he's being told what to say. There's so much to be questioned here, guys. When I've forgotten his name, the lawyer for the prosecution read out his statement as to, their reasons why they believe that Bryan Kohberger is guilty, nothing was different. Nothing had changed. He didn't even make any allowances for the fact that a lot of the things that he'd said had been proven to be wrong in court. So I just feel that this, I almost feel like this was always going to be the conclusion. I think that Bryan fought as long and hard as he could, but it got to a point where he knew that there was no way out of this, and that if he'd continued to go through the whole process, that it was more likely that he would end up losing his life for not having done anything. And the better option would be to at least live. So, and I know a lot of you are gonna completely disagree with me, but until I see complete, irrefutable evidence that Bryan did it and he was there, then I'm going to continue researching and investigating this case. Don't trust anything, guys. Don't trust anything you hear or see. Just don't. But I will be doing, I want to hear your feelings. Should I carry on doing the readings the way I was doing them? Or should I change things? I mean, I'm wondering about changing things. My next reading will be on Bryan. I'll do another reading on Bryan. I almost feel like not starting again, but I'm going to ask Spirit to tell me who I should read for, and in what order. So my next reading will be on Bryan again, as so many of you have requested it, but please bear with me. Please, guys, please keep an open mind, okay? Be strong, keep an open mind and be vigilant. Keep your eyes and ears and your senses open. So that's it for today. It's just a short one. But I'm going to carry on doing this research. It's interesting. So significant that she came to me at that time. There was a reason for it. So yeah, thank you guys. As always, thank you for your love, your support, your encouragement and your engagement that I return to you tenfold. Enjoy the journey.